a foreshadow. That was just a type. Are we together? But that was not the major thing. The promise was not a physical promise. It was a spiritual one. Are we following? Do you understand what I'm saying? All right. So he says, for he looked for a city who had foundation, whose builder and maker is God. Next verse. Through faith, also, Sarah herself received strength to conceive seed and was delivered of the child when she was past age, because she judged him faithful who had promised. Next. Therefore sprang there even of one, and him as good as dead, so many as the stars of the sky in multitude, and as the sand which is by the seashore innumerable. These all died in faith, not having received the promise, but having seen them afar off, and were persuaded of them, and embraced them, and confessed that they were what? Strangers to them. Are we together? They understood that they were what? They were pilgrims. So it means that there is a certain kind of understanding. Listen, there's a certain kind of understanding that begins to come into your heart when you begin to receive words like being called as a laborer. Are we together? So when God begins to call you as a laborer, there is an alignment posture. Are we together? So they received a promise, and this promise, right, led them to making certain confession of seeing themselves as what? As strangers and what? And pilgrims. Are we together? So the moment you begin to receive the impartation of being called a laborer, there are certain paths that begins to open before you. Are we together? There are certain paths that begins to open before you. Now, look at the next verse. Some persons are not following. Please, let your heart be here. Now, look at this. It says, please, let your heart be here. Now, look at this. It says, for they that say such things declare what? Plainly that they seek a what? A country. They that declare such things. So it means that utterance is not just a mere utterance. There is a way you will know a laborer. You will know a laborer by the kind of hypocrisy, right? It says Epaphras and marks of his what? Of his call as a laborer. There were signs. So Apostle Paul will say, do not trouble me, for I bear in me the what? The marks. That mark was the mark of his apostleship. So nobody can just come and tell Apostle Paul that he's not what? He's not an apostle, because he bears in him the mark of an apostle. Do you understand? Are we together? When words are given to you. Let's take another example. Go to the next verse. And truly, if they had been mindful of that country from whence they came, it means if they were mindful of the place that God called them for, their comfort, right? Because when God speaks to you, sometimes you receive the word in certain postures, right? You get. They are saying to think about that state, you will not take action. If you begin to consider, right? So he says that, and truly, if they had been mindful of that country from whence they came out. So when God called Abraham, there was a country. If he was mindful